Good morning. Welcome to Unitarian Universalist Church of the Desert. Welcome on this day we celebrate the beasties and creatures and small companions who bring us joy and wisdom and solace. I'm Julia Alberg-Burbank, your worship associate for today. As we begin, we acknowledge that we are on the historic homelands of the various bands of Cahuilla people, and we honor the unique relationship that we hope emerges between our community and the indigenous people in their traditional territories. Let this acknowledgement serve as a reminder to recognize, honor, reconcile, and partner with the Cahuilla people whose lands and water we benefit from today. In this congregation, we welcome people of all sexual orientations and gender identities, of all ages and sizes, people of all economic statuses and professions, of all physical and mental abilities, people of all races and ancestries and cultures. We welcome you wherever you come from, whoever you love, whatever your immigration status or civic engagement. We welcome all those who will learn and grow with us as we commit together to embrace the rich and beautiful diversity of the world and to build a community centered in justice, compassion, and love. You are welcome here. We're glad you're with us this morning. It is important to us here in this community to create a safe and healthy environment for everyone who gathers in worship, including those who are immunocompromised or have other risk factors. Our COVID protocols are in place because we wish to do everything we can to protect all of us. Please choose to act for the health and safety of our community. Our service is always available, streamed on our website if you need to observe from home.
First of our new member orientation classes for this season. This is a time for people to find out a little bit more about our congregation, about who we are and our history. And we have some folks already signed up to do that, people who are interested in becoming members. But LeGrand asked me to let you know today that everybody is welcome. Anybody who's been coming for a while and would like to know a little bit more about who we are and find out a little bit more about Unitarian Universalism, we welcome you. So we will be gathering together at 11:20. LeGrand, will we be in here or in the community room? You know?
We're in the community room.
Okay, we're in the community room until we get kicked out. So please do join us. It's a great time to get to meet some folks and learn a little bit more about our Unitarian Universalist tradition and our congregation. Good morning, and welcome again to the Unitarian Universalist Church of the Desert. We're doing things a little differently this morning than we had planned. We were going to be outside. We were going to welcome four-legged and two-legged and winged and crawling creatures, but the weather report this week was pretty scandalous, and it's also, the sun is beautiful today, but it's really cold out there, and so we decided we would gather inside. So if you do have a picture of your furry loved one that you brought, or feathery loved one, or scaly loved one that you brought, you bring it up to the front at any point during the service. Come, hoof and trunk and tail and horn and paw and wing and claw, come bird and reptile, mammal born, all full of nature's law. Bring bark and crow and ribbit too, silent stare and hiss. Bring purr and trill and warble too, and voice no ear can miss. We gather here each life and all to celebrate and sing to honor creature large and small. His holiness we bring. We are going to begin or continue our service today by singing together, Sing and Rejoice. We're going to sing this twice in this service. The first time, we're just going to sing it 3 or 4 times through. So I invite you please to rise in body and spirit as we sing, Sing and Rejoice. Sing and rejoice, sing and rejoice, may all things living now sing and rejoice, sing and rejoice, sing and rejoice, may all things living now sing and once more, sing and rejoice, sing and rejoice. May all things living now sing and rejoice. Those who speak or with song. Four-legged, the winged ones, the scaly and crawling ones. Let us be in conversation with all who live within the interdependent way. Let us bless them. Let us be their voice. These candles, solidarity with Black, Indigenous, and other people of color. They journey towards spiritual wholeness. Community, racism, and other forms of oppression. So that justice and equity for all prevail.
Story is not as much, might only be a little bit of it. Is also probably not as says Reverend Molly. My husband Tom and I joined the congregation as members in May of 2021. After participating from home all through COVID, I was raised Catholic, and after it became clear that I had grown away from the church and it could not be a spiritual home to me, I went searching for a faith community that could. It was with great joy that Tom and I found this congregation, and it has become a large part of my faith story. Being here with you all has brought my church story and my faith story into alignment. for which I am thankful. It is out of that gratitude that we give so that our congregation can pay fair wages to our professional staff, so that our sacred grounds are professionally attended to in between the volunteer help, and so that we have resources to support those in need. Reverend Molly goes on to say, good church is not a spectator sport. In that spirit, I volunteer time with UUCOD and work to share what talents I have with others. I believe in many hands make light work and want to help support the faith work of the congregation where I'm able. Father Richard Rohr tells us that life is love school. And here we are as a church on the brink of reaffirming that love is at the center of all we do for each other and in the world. UUCOD has provided the opportunity to give love and receive it in the form of care and concern, celebration and kinship in community work, and in my own faith story. Thanks, giving, joy, indeed.
We're going to share a story throughout the service today. It's an old African story that has been retold by so many people. I first learned it when I was a child from the voice of Danny Kaye. But this is a version told by Canadian storyteller Celia Barker-Lottery. I think I've told it before, but it's a story that bears repeating. Once long ago, in the land of the short grass, there was a great hunger. No rain fell, no grass grew. The ostrich, the gazelle, the giraffe, the monkey, the rabbit, the tortoise, the zebra, and all of the other animals were hungry. They searched in the jungle. They searched by the river. They searched on the great flat plain, but they could find nothing to eat. At last, all of the animals gathered together, and they said, "Let us go together across the great flat plain until we come to something that we can eat." And so all of the animals, except for the lion, who was king and lived down in the jungle, all of the animals walked across the flat, empty land. They walked and walked, and after many days they saw a small bump on the edge of the flat land. Then they saw the small bump was a tree, and the tree was very tall, and the tree had fruit on it, such fruit as they had never seen before. It was as red as pomegranates, as yellow as bananas, as green as melons, as purple as plums, as orange as mangoes, and it smelled like all the fruits of the world. But the tree was so tall and the branches so high that even the giraffe couldn't reach the fruit. And the trunk was so smooth that even the monkey couldn't climb the tree. The animals sat on the ground and cried because the fruit smelled so good, and they were so hungry. At last, when they were too tired to try and cry any longer, a very old tortoise spoke.
Oh, animals,
She said,
my great-great-great-grandmother told me a story about a wonderful tree. The fruit of that tree was delicious and good to eat, but it could only be reached by those who knew the name of the tree.
So the animals cried out, "Who could tell us the name of the tree?" And the very old tortoise answered,
The king knows. We must send someone to ask him. I will go,
said the gazelle.
I'm the fastest runner of us all.
And that was true. And so the gazelle started out across the great flat plain. He ran like an arrow shot from a bow. And as he ran, he thought,
How lucky the animals are that I'm willing to go to the king. No one can run as fast as I.
Indeed, it was not very long before the gazelle reached the jungle and the place by the river where the king lived. Remember, throughout all of this story, the king is a lion. Lion is a cat. The king was sitting with his tail neatly wrapped around him. Every hair on his golden coat lay smooth and shining. He spoke kindly to the gazelle. "What do you wish of me?" he said.
Oh, great king,
Said the gazelle.
All the animals are hungry, and we have found a tree filled with wonderful fruit, but we cannot eat the fruit until we know the name of the tree."
"I will tell you," said the lion, "but you must remember, because I don't want to tell anyone else. I don't want to have to tell anyone else. The name of the tree is Ungali,"
"Ungali.
said the gazelle.
I will run as fast as the wind, and I will reach the tree before I can possibly forget."
The gazelle thanked the king and began to run through the jungle and across the great flat plain. He thought about how happy all the animals would be and how they would thank him and be grateful to him. He thought about this so hard that he didn't see a rabbit hole that lay in his path not far from where the animals were waiting. He stepped in it and went head over hoofs, over head over hoofs, and landed in a heap at the foot of the tree. "What is the name of the tree?" shouted the animals. The gazelle shook his head, shook it again, but the name was gone.
"I can't remember."
More later, more coming later, to be continued. Our Catholic neighbors and kin chose Francis of Assisi as one of their saints. Now, Francis was born in the 12th century and is the patron saint of animals and the environment. And like many of the mystics that Reverend Don shared with us about a couple of weeks ago, Francis spoke often of our duty to protect and defend the beauty and richness of creation. One of the stories of his life shares that one day he and some friends were walking down the road when they passed a tree covered in birds. Francis bade his friends wait while he stepped to the tree and began preaching to the birds, none of whom flew away until he was finished. Because of Francis's devotion to the natural world, many around the world honor his feast day by sharing a blessing of the animals. And we are going to do that today, and I'm hoping, weather be blessed, that we will, in October or sometime between now and then, do it outside for real. But why do we Unitarian Universalists take on this Catholic tradition? Well, we think that we people are just part of the vast holy web of life, and that our lives are interwoven with all other lives on the planet. All the animals and plants and birds and insects and fish, and even the bacteria and viruses, we're all connected like the strands of a spider's web. And so we're gathering today to celebrate the lives and the gifts of our animal companions and the other animals that may be important in our lives. I invite you to think, if you are a pet companion, if you have another furry creature or scaly creature or feathery creature living in your home with you, call them to your mind now. If you do not, if you have in the past, call them to your mind now. Or just think about the animals in your neighborhood. I'm going to invite you in a moment to, if you have not brought a picture up, you can bring your picture up here. But we have, after the service, please come and take a look at our virtual animal companions. If we have, in a moment, I'm going to invite you just to call out the name of your animal companion out into the sound of this room so that we bring them here with us in spirit, if not in, I was going to say in person, in creature. So I invite you to call out, and I'm going to start by saying my dogs are Mushu and Flirt. So please call out the names of your creatures. Bella. So much love, so much comfort, so much stuff to clean up. All of that is true. So many walks to have. All of that is true. We bring them here. We hold them here. We breathe deeply. Will you breathe deeply with me? Hold them in your mind and repeat after me. We share our blessing.
We share our blessing.
And we share our gratitude.
And we share our gratitude.
For your companionship.
For your companionship.
Hold them in your heart as I share these words from the Reverend Maureen Killeran. For the blessings of animal companions, we give thanks. For the beautiful ones, those whose fur is silky and whose tails are long, whose feathers are brilliant or whose voices are splendid, we give thanks. For the frantic ones, the runts and the hungry, who run for a food bowl or a pat as though this is life's last possible gift, we give thanks. For the obnoxious ones, the heads that butt against us as we're trying to sleep, the bodies that refuse to learn discretion as they make digestive gifts, we give thanks. For those who bark and purr and growl and mew, for all who squeak or squawk or snarl or hiss, we give thanks. For the animals unknown to us, those whose niche in life's web is fragile, whose lives are insecure, for all who care for them and wish them well, we give thanks. Blessed are the animals. Blessed are the creatures who live with us and need our care. Blessed are the mammals and the reptiles and the birds who teach us we are not alone. Blessed are all living things from whom we learn to love. Blessed are the animals. So we're going to remain seated now and sing "O We Give Thanks," which is number 1010 in the Teal hymnal. The words are on the screen. We're just going to sing it twice through. So I invite you to join in "We Give Thanks." Oh, we give thanks for this precious day, for all gathered here and thus far away, for this time we share with love and care. Oh, we give thanks for this precious day. Oh, we give thanks for this precious day, for all gathered here and thus far away, for this time we share with love and care. We give thanks for this precious day. The animals groaned. We will have to send someone else, they said, someone who will not forget, said the elephant. The animals nodded, for this was true, and so the elephant strode off across the great flat plain.
I will not forget.
She said to herself.
I can remember anything I choose to, even the names of all of my cousins,
The elephant had hundreds of cousins.
or the names of all the stars in the sky.
When the elephant arrived at the edge of the river, the king was sitting in his usual place, but the end of his tail was twitching. His fur was ruffled. "What do you want?" he growled.
Oh, king,
Said the elephant.
all the animals are hungry.
"I know," said the lion, "and you want to know the name of the tree with the wonderful fruit. I will tell you, but don't you forget, because I absolutely will not tell anyone else. The name of the tree is Ungali,"
I will not forget.
said the elephant haughtily.
I never forget anything.
And she turned and began to make her way out of the jungle.
Forget.
She grumbled to herself.
Me forget. Why, I can remember the names of all of the trees in the jungle.
And she began to name them. When she had finished the jungle trees, she went on to all the other trees in Africa. She was just starting on the trees of the rest of the world when she happened to step in the very same rabbit hole that had tripped the gazelle. Her foot fitted exactly into the hole, so exactly she couldn't get it out. The animals waiting under the tree saw the elephant and ran toward her, calling, "What is the name of the tree?" The elephant pulled and tugged and pulled and tugged, and at last, with a great pop, her foot came out of the hole.
I can't remember,
She said crossly.
and I don't care. The tree has caused far too much trouble already.
The animals didn't even groan. They were too tired and too hungry. We gather together and we take this time in our service to share the joys and sorrows that live in our hearts, in our spirits, in our minds, to share them with this community so that we may hold them together, so that those sorrows are lightened, the joys celebrated and held together. These are the joys and sorrows of this community. I want to light a candle of sadness and gratitude. Vanessa Ament, who has been our choir director for the past year, has announced that she will be leaving. She is leaving us as our choir director. And we are so grateful for the spirit, the skill, and the energy, the passion that she brought to working with our choir. I have seen the choir just blossom with her, and so we're really grateful for her service and wish her well. She's finding more full-time work. So we wish her well on her journey, and we are grateful for the service she has brought to our choir and to this. Joni lights a candle of love and remembrance for her dad. This week, on March 2nd, it would be his 109th birthday. There's barely a day that passes that I don't think of him. Love you, Dad. Happy birthday. The care team thanks everyone who has stepped up to provide meals for Pam Mayer, who is having surgery on Tuesday. Cards and notes of encouragement are always welcome. Her information is in the directory. We wish Pam well. Rhina lights a candle of great sorrow for all of the gun violence. When will it end? Julia and Tom light a candle of remembrance for Tom's stepbrother, also named Tom, who passed away this week after being unable to recover from a serious. Julia and Tom also light a candle of thanksgiving for carbon monoxide alarms and guardian angels. Our daughter's family was saved by the alarm on Friday night after snowfall blocked vents on their home. We light a candle of care and concern and love and hope for safety for all of those affected by this winter storm, which has inconvenienced us, but is causing great chaos for people in other parts of California. We send love and healing light to Pam Mayer, who's having cancer surgery on Tuesday. Hope you are back dancing soon. And sending healing energy for a quick recovery for Pam's daughter, Cookie, who had emergency surgery yesterday. Blessings to the members who are reaching out for support by the care team. Healing thoughts for Carol T. as she fights cancer. Grateful for my loving and faithful furry friends, Tuxedo, Itsy, and Bitsy. They're actually my furry kids. Right? And a candle of gratitude and thanks to Sandy Sladen. Thanks for arranging the wonderful visit to the Cheech Museum this past week. Thank you, Sandy. These are the joys and sorrows that we have shared out loud publicly with each other today, and we know that there are joys and sorrows that remain in the quiet of our hearts, the losses that we are not ready to share, the joys that feel so tenuous yet that they are not ready to be spoken aloud. So we hold all of these in our hearts. We hold the complexity of our emotions, the complexity of the world and our response to it. We hold our wondering if we can make change and our knowledge that change must. We hold all of these in our hearts as we breathe together into this space. On this day when we center the love and companionship of our small creatures, we also celebrate the love and companionship of our fellow humans on this journey. Here in this room, online, in our neighborhoods, in our cities, in our nation, around the world, we hold each other in love as we breathe together into the quiet of this holy space. May all beings know peace. May all beings know an end to suffering. May all beings know joy. Will you join your voices together, please, as we sing our hymns for meditation, Spirit of Life.
Spirit of life, come unto me. Sing in my heart all the stirrings of compassion. Blow in the wind, rise in the sea, move in the hand, giving life the shape of justice. Roots hold me close, wings set me free. Spirit of life, come to me, come to me. Fuente de amor, ven hacia mí, y al corazón cántale compasión. Sopla al volar, sube en la mar, hasta bordear la justicia de la vida. Para Yahweh, libérame, fuente de amor, ven a mí, ven a mí.
The creatures in our lives, just as the humans in our lives, all of our lives are finite. Our lives come to an end. The lives of those we care for comes to an end and brings with it grief and joy in remembrance of love. So I invite you to be comfortable in your seat as we share gratitude for those who have left us. When either Julia or I says, "we say," I invite you to respond with, "We are grateful for your love and your life." Can you say that? We are grateful for your love and your life. Take a deep breath, please. Call to mind those creatures who have been part of your life before today. Hold them in love. For the animals that we are responsible for day to day, our companion animals, we say, "We are grateful for your love and your life."
For animals who are suffering, lost, deserted, frightened, or hungry, we wish mercy and gentle hands and kindly words. We say,
We are grateful for your love and your life. For those animals who have been our companions but who are no longer with us,
who shared with us their love,
who nuzzled us when we were low,
who played with us when we were joyful,
who sat by us when we were alone,
who awaited our return and greeted us with rapture when we made our way home from our work or our journey,
who gratefully received our love and listened to our ramblings with loving silence,
who connected us to life by needing food and exercise every day.
who brought us health and hope and wisdom.
To all these we say,
We are grateful for your love and your life. We miss you.
we mourn you,
We carry you deep in our hearts.
and so we say,
We are grateful for your love
and your life.
Let's pause for a moment of quiet, remembering our past companions. We are so grateful for their love. We're going to take some time now to share the bounty of our lives with this congregation. So I invite the ushers, please, to come forward to take the collection for the support of the life and work of this congregation as Jeffrey shares some music with us.
Bless the beast and the children, for in this world they have no voice, they have no choice. Bless the beast and the children, for the world can never be the world they see. Light their way when the darkness surrounds them. Give them love, let it shine all around them. Bless the beasts and the children, give them shelter from a storm, keep them safe, keep them warm. Light their way when the darkness surrounds them. Give them love, let it shine all around us. Bless the beast and the children, give them shelter from a storm, keep them safe, keep them warm.
After a long time, a very young tortoise spoke.
"Oh, animals,
He said,
I will go and find out the name of the tree."
"You," said the animals, "but you are so young, and you are so small, and you are so slow,"
"Yes,
said the very young tortoise.
but I know how to remember. I learned from my great-great-great-grandmother, the one who told you about the tree."
The animals had nothing to say, and the little tortoise was already on his way. It was true that he was slow, but by putting one short leg ahead of the other, he crossed the great flat plain, went through the jungle, and arrived at the place by the river where the king lived. The king was not sitting in his usual place. He was pacing up and down the bank of the river, waving his tail. His fur was standing on end. When he saw the very young tortoise, he roared, "If you have come to ask me the name of the tree, go home. I have told the gazelle and I have told the elephant that the name of the tree is Ungali, and I will not tell you." The very young tortoise just nodded his head politely, turned, and began to walk out of the jungle. And as he walked, he said,
"Ungali, Ungali, the name of the tree is Ungali, 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 the name of the tree is Ungali.
and he went on saying it as he crossed the great flat plain,
Ungali, Ungali, the name of the tree is Ungali."
and he never stopped saying it, even when he got tired, even when he got thirsty, because that is what his great-great-great-grandmother had told him to do. Even when he fell to the bottom of that same rabbit hole, The very young tortoise just climbed out, saying,
Ngali, Ngali, the name of the tree is Ngali.
None of the animals saw him coming. They were sitting under the tree looking at the ground. The very young tortoise walked straight up to the foot of the tree and said in a loud voice,
The name of the tree is Ngali.
The animals looked up. They saw the branches of the tree bend down so low that they could reach the wonderful fruit that was as red as pomegranates, as yellow as bananas, as green as melons, as purple as plums, as orange as mangoes, and smelled like all the fruits of the world. The animals ate. They ate until they could eat no more, and then they lifted the very young tortoise high in the air and marched around the tree, chanting together, Ungali, Ungali, the name of the tree is Ungali, because they did not want to forget. And they never did. I am inspired every day by that young tortoise who chose practice over inheritance, chose practice over pride to help his community. It's something that reminds me each and every day as we engage here in the practice of love. I'm going to invite you now to rise in body or in spirit again as we sing, sing, and rejoice. And here's how we're going to do it this time. We're going to sing it twice through all together, and then this side will start, and this side will follow, and we'll sing till we're done. Sound good? Yep. Okay. Sing and rejoice, sing and rejoice. May all things lift me now. Sing and rejoice again. Sing and rejoice, sing and rejoice. May all things lift me now. Sing and rejoice, sing and rejoice. One more time. Sing and rejoice. Sing and rejoice. May all things lift me now. Sing and rejoice. Sing and rejoice.
Please join me as we extinguish the chalice. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again.
Blessed are the animals. Blessed are the creatures who live with us and need our care. Blessed are the mammals and the reptiles and the birds who share our home with us and who teach us we are not alone. Blessed are all the beings who share our lands and air and water with us. Blessed are all living things from whom we learn love. With these blessings in our heart, go in peace, dear friends, to love and serve the world and give or find some scripture. Go in peace.